Your fish might be dying right now, and you'd have absolutely no idea. Not from a disease, not from bad water, from something you're doing every single day without realizing it. And the terrifying part? Your fish can't tell you. They can't gasp out a warning. They just slowly, quietly decline, and most owners never connect the dots until it's too late. By the end of this video, you'll know the 9 hidden things that are slowly killing your fish, backed by actual research on fish psychology and biology. Some of these will genuinely shock you. Number 4 especially, almost no one talks about this one. Most aquarium owners think that if the water tests fine and the fish are eating, everything is okay. But marine biologists and fish welfare researchers have now confirmed something that changes everything. Fish are not decorations. They feel stress. They experience fear. They remember bad experiences. And when their psychological needs go unmet, their bodies pay the price, slowly and silently. Let's start with something hiding in plain sight. The first thing slowly killing your fish is the color of your tank. Not the water, not the fish, the actual walls and background of your aquarium. This sounds almost too simple to be real, but a 2024 experiment with Oscar fish found that fish kept in blue tanks had significantly higher cortisol levels, weaker immune function, and worse growth compared to fish in red or yellow tanks. Same species, same water quality, same feeding schedule, only the color changed, and yet the blue tank fish were being quietly pushed toward illness every single day. Think about what chronic immune suppression means. It doesn't look like anything at first. Your fish swims around, eats normally, seems fine. But underneath, the defenses are weakening. And then one day, a bacterial infection appears, and you blame it on a mystery disease. It wasn't a mystery. It was the color on the wall. Researchers studying tomato clownfish larvae found something similar. Fish raised in white-walled tanks showed a dramatically stronger cortisol spike during stress tests compared to fish raised in colored environments. White tanks, which look clean and clinical and beautiful to us, are quietly terrifying to them. If your tank has a white interior or a bright reflective background, your fish may have been living in low-level psychological stress for months or even years. The second silent killer is something you probably installed to help your fish. Your filter, your air pump, the noise. Zebrafish exposed to continuous underwater noise changed their behavior significantly. And here's the disturbing part. They stopped trying to avoid the noisy areas. They just endured it. Reviews of underwater noise exposure show that chronic sound can actually damage hearing structures in fish and alter their behavior long after the noise stops. Hearing damage from pump noise can continue worsening for up to 96 hours after the sound ends. What does this mean practically? A fish living next to a rattling, humming, vibrating cheap air pump is experiencing something like living next to a highway with no way to move away. They lose appetite. Their immune function drops. They become easy targets for disease. And because they never dramatically gasp or show obvious symptoms, you never connect the noise to the slow decline. The third thing that's killing your fish is something that sounds almost philosophical: boredom. Research on guppies found that when given puzzle feeders, they showed clear interest in working for their food, even after free food was available. This suggests fish genuinely benefit from cognitive engagement. They are not passive creatures waiting to be looked at. They have preferences. They explore. They problem solve. And when they're kept in a bare, stimulus-poor tank with nothing to investigate and no variation in their environment, something inside them quietly shuts down. Fish welfare researchers are now flagging monotonous tank environments as a serious welfare risk, especially over long periods of captivity. Think about what your fish's world looks like from their perspective. The same gravel, the same plastic plant in the same corner, the same route from one end to the other, day after day, month after month, year after year. That's not a life. That's a waiting room. And chronic understimulation creates chronic low-level stress that weakens everything. Here's the one that almost no one is talking about. Number 4. The social structure inside your tank might be slowly torturing some of your fish. In hierarchical species like cichlids, researchers found that low-status males show chronically higher oxidative stress in the brain compared to dominant males. This isn't just stress in the abstract. This is measurable brain-level damage accumulating over time. And overcrowded tanks with too few hiding spots trap certain fish in a permanent loser position, with nowhere to escape, no way to establish their own territory, and no relief from constant social pressure. But here's the twist that surprises most people. Adding more fish doesn't always fix this. In fact, meta-analyses and tilapia studies show that densities that are too low can be just as damaging. Too few fish in a shoaling species destabilizes the hierarchy, leading to sustained aggression from dominant individuals and chronic stress in subordinates. And high stocking density. That often looks peaceful because visible aggression drops, but cortisol levels go up, growth is suppressed, and digestion is impaired. The fish look calm. Their physiology is crashing. There is no magic safe stocking number. It depends on species, life stage, tank layout, and hiding space. And getting it wrong, in either direction, kills fish slowly. The fifth thing is something most owners do every single week without a second thought. Netting your fish during water changes. The mucus layer on a fish is not just slime. It is a living immune barrier. It protects against bacteria, parasites, and physical damage. Every time a rough net drags across your fish, every time dry hands touch them, every time they're scooped up and moved, that layer gets stripped away. And this happens precisely when stress hormones are already elevated from the disturbance of maintenance. Fish disease researchers emphasize that capture, handling, and even brief air exposure are major stressors that compromise immune defenses. Repeat this every week for a year, and you're not maintaining your tank. You're running a slow immune suppression experiment on your fish. The disease outbreak you blame on a mystery pathogen 3 months from now. It started with the net. Number 6 is about light, and specifically what happens to your fish at night. A study on zebrafish found that just a few nights of artificial light, especially blue wavelengths, caused fish to swim less, huddle near the walls, and show measurable anxiety-like behavior. And here's the part that genuinely unsettled researchers. These behavioral changes appeared in the offspring of those fish, offspring that had never been exposed to the light at all. The stress of nighttime light disruption was being passed down. For your tank at home, this means leaving the aquarium light on while you watch TV at night, or having a bright room lamp near the tank isn't just inconvenient for your fish. It is altering their hormones, disrupting their sleep cycles, and potentially affecting how anxious and reactive they are on a baseline level. Photoperiod research also shows that constant or overly long light periods can increase aggression in cichlids and cause distress and growth delays in catfish, even when every other parameter looks perfect. The 7th silent killer is something that lives in your water right now, and you might be ignoring it because it's not technically dangerous. Low-level ammonia. Extension research is very clear on this. Even sublethal ammonia levels, the kind where your fish look fine and the test reads not zero but not terrible, are actively damaging gill tissue, reducing growth, and making fish dramatically more susceptible to bacterial infections and handling stress. There is no safe enough level of ammonia. There is only zero and not zero. And the fish living in not zero are quietly accumulating gill damage every single day, becoming more vulnerable, more fragile, more likely to succumb to the next stressor that comes along. The 8th thing is one of the most psychologically fascinating on this list: mirrors and reflections. Many fish react to their own reflection as if they're seeing a rival. In bettas, long-term mirror exposure drives persistent threat displays and, critically, does not reduce their attack readiness over time. This means a betta in a tank with a reflective background isn't adapting to the reflection. It is locked in a permanent state of territorial aggression, fighting an enemy that never leaves and never loses. For more cognitively advanced species, this gets even more complex. Cleaner rasa have passed stringent versions of the mirror self-recognition test. They can recognize their own faces in photographs. For fish like these, permanent mirrors or mirrored tank films don't provide enrichment. They create chronic, confusing social signals that the fish cannot resolve. Imagine spending your entire life convinced there's another fish watching you, following every move, never backing down. That is the reality for fish in reflective tanks. The ninth and final silent killer is something that speaks to how deeply we underestimate these animals. Fish remember, and they remember bad experiences in ways that reshape their long-term behavior. Public aquarium welfare research shows that fish can learn and retain memories of negative events, altering their behavior for extended periods afterward. A fish that has been frightened repeatedly by nets, by hands, by predators in a neighboring tank, by sudden loud sounds, doesn't just get over it. Some individuals become chronically fearful, withdrawn, and significantly more disease-prone. The stress of remembered fear is physiologically real. It suppresses immunity. It alters feeding. It changes social behavior. And because we can't see the memory, we never attribute the illness to its actual cause. Here's what all 9 of these have in common. None of them look dramatic. None of them announce themselves. They work slowly, invisibly, through the fish's psychology, and then through its body. And the fish, being a fish, cannot tell you what's wrong. But now you know. And knowing is everything. So here's what you can do starting today. Look at your tank background, and if it's white or bright blue, consider switching to a warmer color. Check whether your filter or pump is creating constant vibration noise, and look into quieter alternatives or dampening pads. Give your fish something to explore, a new decoration placed thoughtfully, a feeding puzzle, some variation in their environment. Turn the tank light off at night. Test your ammonia and commit to 0, not close to 0. Check for reflective surfaces your fish might be reacting to. And the next time you do a water change, think about whether you actually need to move your fish at all. These are small changes, but for your fish, they are the difference between a life of quiet suffering and a life that actually supports who they are. If this video made you see your fish differently, leave a comment below telling me which one of these surprised you most. I read every single one. And if you want to keep learning about the hidden inner lives of the animals we keep, subscribe and stay close. The next video goes somewhere most fish owners never think to look. You won't want to miss it.